Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Lighten Yoga. I thought I'd do something a little different for this stay home class. There are some practices that I don't teach often in my classes because people feel a little self-conscious doing them. But in the privacy of our own homes, I thought that they would be a great way to lighten the mood and get rid of some of those pent-up frustrations. So this class can be done sitting in a chair or working from a mat. If you're sitting in a chair, ensure that your chair is sturdy and won't move. And you might like to have some blocks, some blankets, or something to rest your feet on. If you're working from a mat, you might like to have something like blocks, towels or blankets, a bolster, anything that you need to support a seated or squatting position. This session involves a lot of breath work, particularly breathing out through the mouth. Be cautious if you have high blood pressure, respiratory problems, or are pregnant. If you feel dizzy or lightheaded, rest and practice with your natural breathing. And if you are unsure whether this session is for you, seek advice from your general practitioner or specialist. I thought I'd start today's session with a Drew Yoga style activation. The purpose of an activation is to warm the body, and it could be as simple as putting on your favourite music and dancing around. So for this activation, if you're standing, make sure you've got a bit of room to take your arms up and about and move from side to side. If you have a light mat that tends to roll up or buckle when you move, then move it to the side so that you don't trip over it. If you're seated, just make sure you've got a little bit of room. Take your arms up and about. So let's start. If you're standing, just standing comfortably. If you're sitting in a chair, coming towards the front of your chair. And remember, if you can't follow the moves, that's fine. Just make them up and have fun. So start with a little bit of bouncing. And then make this, and let's roll the wrist over each other. Opposite direction. Start marching in the rhythm of our right foot. Now if you wish, you might like to try this. We're going to go out, out, in, or maybe forward and back. Okay, if you're sitting, continue with that. Otherwise, step, step, step to the left, and maybe step behind. Let's take the right shoulder back, maybe the right elbow, or if it feels comfortable for you, the right arm. Just follow that with your eyes. I'm going to come forward now, right shoulder. Comfortable, maybe it's the right elbow, and maybe the whole right arm. Step out twice. Tap, tap. And then you can get your John Travolta on and go. Opposite arm. get back to a march, leading the left foot. And if you wish, doing that out, out, in, out, in, out, in. Let's just bring the heel forward now. Maybe add a clap. Maybe up high. And let's come back into our mountain pose. Just noticing how that feels in the body. Just letting the breath settle.
The squat. Stand or sit in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, take the knees wide and have the feet flat on the floor below the knees. For a stronger sensation, place blocks under your feet. If you're standing, take your feet wide and let the toes point out. Imagine you're sitting back into a chair. Bend your knees and notice what's happening with your knees. Aim to keep the knees above the ankles so they are supported by the lower leg. You might need to adjust your feet, your stance, or how far you come down. Come back to standing. So whether seated or sitting, let your hands relax by your sides and make fists. Inhale, lengthen through the spine and extend the arms out and up as high as comfortable. If you're sitting, on an exhalation, lean forward and bring the arms back by your sides. Push your feet into the ground as if you're going to push yourself off the chair. If you're standing, on an exhalation, bend the knees. Bring the buttocks back and down and bring the arms back by your sides. Keep the back braced and the spine long. Whether seated or standing, notice what muscles are engaging. On an inhalation, press into the feet and come back upright. This time, if it's comfortable for you, imagine that you're blowing out a candle and exhale through the mouth. So inhale, lengthen through the spine and bring the arms up. Exhale through the mouth as you squat or lean forward and bring the arms back by your sides. Continue with the breath. For something different, on your next inhalation, take a deep breath in. If you're standing, you might even like to come up onto the toes. Pause, then exhale forcefully through the mouth as you squat or lean forward and bring the arms back by your sides. Continue with your chosen breathing pattern, exhaling out as if blowing out a candle, or exhaling forcefully. Do another 2. Before coming back to your seated or standing mountain. Notice the effects of that practice on your body and mind. Just let your hands relax by your sides. Inhale deeply and shrug the shoulders. Feel the tension there. Pause, and then sigh the breath out, letting the shoulders relax. Another option. Inhale deeply and shrug the shoulders. Pause, and then exhale forcefully with a ha sound, letting the shoulders relax. And feel that coming right up from the abdomen. Do another 2 shrugs, whichever way feels right for you. Come back to your mountain. Just notice how that feels. Chopping wood. Choose your starting position. Squatting, kneeling, standing, or sitting in a chair. If you're squatting, squat to a comfortable depth. Try placing a rolled up mat or towel under your heels to create more stability for your posture, or stand against a wall. If you're kneeling, try placing a cushion or blanket between the knees and thighs, or straddling a bolster or rolled up blanket. If you're standing or sitting in a chair, have the legs a little wider than hip width apart, and if sitting, come forward on your seat. Interlock your fingers and extend your arms out in front. Imagine you're holding the handle of the axe. Inhale and raise your arms up in front, lengthening through the body. Exhale through the mouth with a ha sound and lower the arms down in front. Continue with the breath. Inhale, extending the arms up. Exhale with a ha sound as you chop the wood. Make this your last one. And come back to your comfortable resting position, whether standing, sitting, or kneeling. Notice how you feel. Cat. Choose your preferred starting position for cat. You might be sitting on the floor or in a chair, kneeling, on your hands and knees, or standing in a shallow squat. Inhale and gently tilt the pelvis forward, taking the tailbone back, arching the back, opening the chest. If your hands are resting on your thighs, draw the hands back towards your body, keeping the elbows by the side. Sigh out the breath through the mouth and draw the tailbone under, round through the back and drop the head. If your hands are on your thighs, slide the hands away from you. Continue with the breath. Inhale, arching the back, opening the chest. Exhale, sighing out the breath through the mouth. If you feel comfortable doing so, say calm or om on the exhalation. Make this your last round before coming into a comfortable seated or kneeling position. Lion. The lion posture or breath is performed from a seated or kneeling position. Let me demonstrate some variations. The exhalation is a sound, the sound you would make if you're fogging up a mirror with your breath. You ready to give it a go? Choose a comfortable seated or kneeling position. If your legs are positioned close together, place the hands on the thighs. If you're in a wide-legged or cross-legged position, let the hands rest comfortably on your knees or thighs. We'll start with the variation where we just look up and open the mouth. Inhale deeply through the nose. Lengthen the spine and relax the shoulders. Exhale through the mouth and without moving your head, look up. Spread your fingers wide and push your hands forward along and into the thighs or down towards the sides. Traditionally, the posture involves drawing the tip of the tongue towards the earth and looking up to that point between the eyebrows. So feel free to try that in the following rounds. Inhale, lengthen through the body and relax the shoulders. Exhale through the mouth, looking up, maybe to that point between the eyebrows, and if you wish, sticking out the tongue. Spread the fingers and push the hands away. And on an inhalation, relax. Do another 3 line breaths in your own time. When you've completed those rounds, come back to your comfortable seated or kneeling position and notice how you feel. To end this session, I'm introducing some sound work. Similar to singing, this practice can improve breathing and alleviate stress. You can repeat these sounds out loud or whisper them. soften the gaze or close the eyes. Inhale. And on the exhalation, say ah. Continue, noticing how this feels in your body. Do a couple more. And now say ooh, like the double O in look. Inhale. Ooh. And continue. Ooh. Do one more. Notice how this feels. Finally, on the exhalation, say and feel the vibrations through the body. Do a couple more. Just noticing the effect of the practice. Your body, your mind, and your emotions. Remain here for as long as you like. Om Shanti. Go in peace.